Okay, welcome for mindful movement. We're doing a cumulative practice, so we're going to be adding poses on as we flow. So bringing the knees nice and wide, walking the hands towards the front of the mat, bringing the forehead and chest down, chest to the inside of the thighs. Take a nice long deep breath in and reach the fingers a little further forward, and then a long breath out and push that chest a little further back towards those thighs. And the seat back towards the heels. Take a little rock of the hips, a little roll of the shoulders, a turn of the head in both directions, bringing it back into a centre space when you've done so. Take another moment here, scan from the fingertips down to the toe tips, just having a check-in with how your body feels as you've arrived on the mat. We're only staying here for a few moments. Bring your attention to the breath, maybe switch into that Ujjayi breath, which is a slight restriction at the back of the throat, breathing in and out of the nose only. But if you're not comfortable with that, use the mouth. On your next breath in, walk the hands in a little further, bring the knees together, settle the chest back over the thighs and bring the hands down by the sides of the body and just let those shoulders curl over the knees. A slightly different version of our child's pose, a little more restorative for the shoulders. Take another moment here before we make our way up onto our hands and knees, curling through the back. When you're ready, come up to the hands and knees. Bring the heel of the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Step both feet back into a plank position. And from your plank position, lift up with the hips, squeeze the heels back or paddle one at a time if that feels better for those hamstrings. If you're happy now to bring those heels to a still position, encourage them back towards the mat. Try and push the chest a little further back. Try not to flare the ribs as you do so. Take those shoulders in a little more extension. On your breath in, come forward to a plank position, then drop down with the knees and tuck the toes, lower all the way to the mat with as much control as you can. Push the hips into the floor and on an inhale, lift up with the chest. On an exhale, lower that body back down. Toes tuck under, bring the chest back towards the thighs. Try not to sink in the lower back as you do that. And then push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up with the hips and squeeze the heels back. So that's what we're going to be doing through our vinyasas, but we're going to be doing every movement to a count of 4. So you should end in the end of the pose at the end of the count. Let's give that a go. Taking a breath into plank, 2, 3, 4, drop knees and lower, exhale, 2, 3, 4, inhale, push hips down, lift chest, 2, 3, 4, lower chest, 2, 3, 4, tuck toes, chest back to thighs, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hips lift, heels back, 2, 3, 4, meeting back in downward facing dog. Let's try that again. Just have a little nod, shake of the head, maybe a little paddle of the feet. So this time I'm just going to cue your breath. Coming and a breath into plank. 2, 3, 4, exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4, inhale, lift. 2, 3, 4, exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4, chest back, inhale. 2, 3, 4, exhale, lift hips, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to be taking those long, slow vinyasas between our left and right sides, adding a pose on as we go. Come forward to a plank position and drop the knees to the mat. Bring your right foot forward in between the hands. Make sure you're stable and pushing into the mat as your right hand reaches up and over, and twist the torso to the right side of the room, sending the right hand back, left hand forward and the gaze to the right side. Your hips Staying neutral to that short edge of the mat, we're encouraging the right shoulder back and the left shoulder around. Take another breath here. And then on your next out breath, bring the hands down either side of your right foot. Step your right knee back. Step your left foot back, right foot back, plank, and lift up with the hips as you squeeze those heels back to find downward facing dog. Try not to fuss with the hands and feet from this shape. Let's take a long slow vinyasa. Coming forward to plank. 2, 3, 4 and lower. 2, 3, 4. Lift chest. 2, 3, 4 and lower. 2, 3, 4. Tuck toes, chest back. 2, 3, 4. Lift hips, squeeze heels back. 2, 3 and 4. Meeting back in down dog, ready to take left side. Come forward to a plank position, drop the knees. Left foot steps through. Stabilise and push into the mat. Left hand up and over. Turn and twist, rotate to the left. So your back knee is grounded and you're pushing into the top edge of that right foot. The sole of the left foot. Your left shoulder squeezing back. Your right shoulder is coming around. Arms in one long line. On your next out breath, slowly windmill the hands down, either side of the left foot. Bring your left knee back to meet your right knee. Step your right foot back to plank, left foot back to plank, and lift the hips and squeeze those heels back. A long slow vinyasa again, coming forward. 2, 3, 4 and lower. 2, 3, 4. Lift chest. 2, 3, 4 and lower. 2, 3, 4. Tuck toes, chest back. 2, 3, 4. Lift hips, squeeze heels back. 2, 3 and 4. That's the end of the first round. Come forward to plank. Drop down the knees, drop down the chest. Bring the hands by the sides of the body. Bring the feet together in the centre. Push the hips into the mat. Lift up with the chin, lift up with the chest. Squeeze the shoulders down and back. Lift the hands, maybe lift the feet. Holding for a count of 4, 3. Squeeze everything in the back. 2 and 1. Release the feet, release the chest, release the hands. Tuck the toes under. Bring the chest back towards the thighs. And the forehead to the mat, and take that stretch through that shoulders, and then the stretch through the toes and the lower back. Then push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up with your hips and find our downward facing dog. Pushing firmly into the hands, chest back, try not to flare ribs, try and keep the heels low. Come back forward to plank and drop the knees to the mat. Bring your right foot through in between the hands and stabilise into the mat. Right hand reaches up and over and twist around to the right. Left hand forward, right hand back. Find this space for a breath. Then scooping your right arm down and around and forward to meet left. Left hand up and over to face the back of the mat. Turning the chest and the hips around to the left side of the room. Try not to let that right knee drop in. Keep it squeezed out by switching on the outside of that right hip. Finding the palms now to face down and knee down, warrior 2 position. Another breath here. And then windmill the hands down nice and slowly towards that right foot. Bring your right knee back to meet your left knee. Step your left foot back, your right foot back. Lift the hips and squeeze the heels down. A long, slow vinyasa. Coming forward. 2, 3, 4. Drop knees and lower. 2, 3, 4. Lift chest. 2, 3, 4. Drop chest. 2, 3, 4. Chest back. 2, 3, 4. Lift hips. 2, 3, 4. Squeeze heels back. Come back forward to a plank position and drop down with the knees. Bring your left foot through in between the hands. Windmill the left arm up and over and twist the torso to the left. Left hand back, right hand forward. The twist comes from the waist, the neutral pelvis to the front edge of the mat. Scooping now the left arm down, around, forward to meet right. Right up and over to the back of the room. Turn the palms down, find your knee down, warrior two. Push firmly into the sole of the left foot and turn the left knee out. Push nice and strong into the right shin and top of the right foot. Maybe the gaze can be to those left fingertips. Take another long deep breath in and a long breath out. Then windmill the hands down either side of the left foot. Bring your left knee back to meet your right knee. Step your right foot back to plank. Your left foot to meet. And then lift up the hips. Squeeze the heels back to downward facing dog. Long slow vinyasa. Coming forward. 2, 3, 4. Drop knees and lower. 2, 3, 4. Lift chest. 2, 3, 4 and lower. 2, 3, 4. Chest back. 2, 3, 4. Lift hips. 2, 3, 4 and squeeze those heels back. Take another long deep breath in and a long breath out. That's the end of round 2 on both sides. Come back forward to a plank. Drop the knees. Bring the chest slowly to the mat. Bring the hands by the side of the body. Bring the feet in. Push the hips into the floor. Lift up with the chin. Chest. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the hands. Maybe include the feet. And squeeze the bum, the lower back muscles, the upper thoracic spine muscles, shoulder blades, all squeezing to lift. Then bring the feet back down. Chest back down. Hands by the side of the chest. Toes tucked. Bring those chests back towards the thighs. Toes are tucked under, forehead to the mat. Have a stretch through those shoulders, armpits, waists, lower back, bases of the feet. Then push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up with the hips and squeeze the heels back. Take down dog for a couple of breaths. Let's start with the right side. Coming forward to a plank position, drop the knees. Bring your right foot through, in between the hands. Windmill the right arm up and over, taking our first 2 poses. So twisted warrior, back knee down. Then scooping your right arm down and around and forward to meet your left. Left hand up and over to the back of the room. And twist the shoulders and the hips to the left side. Gaze to those right fingertips. Bring the left hand back down and around and forward to meet the right. Bring the hands together at the chest. Lean forward with the torso. Hook your left elbow onto the right knee. Push the elbow into the knee. Resist with the knee. Push back. Take a long breath in, elongate. And take a long breath out to find a rotate. Try not to let that left hip drop down too much. Keep it in line with the right. Try not to flare the ribs, but take that rotation from the centre spine in between the thoracic and the lumbar. Then release the hands down to either side of your right foot. Bring your right knee back to meet your left knee. Step your left foot back to plank. Your right foot to meet the left. Lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Long, slow vinyasa. Coming forward. 2, 3, 4. Either drop the knees or lower straight body. 2, 3, 4. Lift chest. 2, 3, 4 and lower. 2, 3, 4. Toes tuck, chest back. 2, 3, 4. Lift hips, squeeze heels back. 2, 3 and 4. Meeting in down dog. Coming down onto the knees, let's take the left side. Bring your left foot forward in between the hands. Stabilise. Left arm up and over. Turn, twist the torso to the left side. Turn as much as you can through the waist. but keep those pelvises nice and neutral and keep sturdy through the feet. Left arm down and around, forward to meet right. Right hand up and over, send it to the back. Turn the palms down, gaze to the left fingertips. Bring your right hand down and around to meet the left. Bring the hands together at the chest, palms together. Reach forward with the torso, right elbow to left knee. Breathe in length, breathe out twist. Thumbs towards the centre of the sternum. Rotation again, really working that digestive system through this sequence. Squeezing out all the bad toxins, drawing in good nutrients. And then release those hands down either side of your left foot. Bring your left knee back to meet your right knee. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Your left foot to meet. Lift the hips and squeeze the heels back. Find downward facing dog. Long, slow vinyasa. Forward on your inhale to plank. 2, 3, 4. Exhale and lower. 2, 3, 4. Inhale and lift. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Chest back and inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lift. 2, 3, 4. To our downward facing dog. End of the third sequence. Coming forward to plank. Bring yourself all the way down onto the mat. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. Feet together. Push the hips into the floor. Lift up with the chin, lift up with the chest. Roll the shoulders back, lift up with the arms. If you want to include the feet, squeeze the hamstrings and the glutes to lift those legs. Finding our bow pose, pointing through the toes. Holding for another 2, 1, release. Bring the hands by the side of the chest. Toes tuck, chest back towards the thighs, forehead to the mat. Take a moment here, stretching the shoulders, armpits, waist, lower back and bases of the feet. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up with the hips and squeeze the heels back. Ready for round 4, adding the 4th pose on. Come down onto the knees, bringing your right foot through in between the hands. Push into the mat with the feet, rise up with the right hand, turn and twist to the right. Left hand forward, right hand back. Then scoot the right arm down and around and forward to meet left. Left hand up and over to the back of the mat. Maybe gazing towards those right fingertips. Scoot the left arm down and around, forward to meet right. Bring palms together, then to the chest. Lean forward with the torso. Left elbow, right knee. Breathe in, elongate, and breathe out to find your rotate. Just a breath here. And then bringing your right hand down to the inside of your right foot. Reaching your left hand up, rotate the torso. Use that right arm to keep that right knee turned out. Maybe gaze up to that left thumb, out to the side or down to the right hand. Whatever feels most comfortable for the neck and the balance. Then bringing that left hand back down to the mat, right hand to the opposite side of the right foot, right knee back to meet the left knee. Left foot steps back to a plank, right foot meets. Lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back, down dog. Count of 4, vinyasa. Inhale, plank. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, lift. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Chest back. 2, 3, 4. Lift hips. 2, 3, and 4. Come back forward to a plank position and drop down the knees. Bring your left foot forward in between the hands. Left arm reaches up and over and we twist the torso to the left, right hand forward, left hand back. Then scoot the left arm down, around, forward to meet right. Right hand up and over to the back of the room, gaze to those left fingertips. Scoop your right arm down, forward to meet left, palms together, bring them to the chest. Lean forward, Right elbow hooks left knee. Elongate, inhale, rotate, exhale. Push the knee and elbow towards each other. Bring your left hand down to the inside of the left foot. Reach your right hand up and rotate to the right. The gaze can be up to the thumb, out to the side, down to the left hand. Work with your neck and don't compromise anything by just trying to do something which doesn't work for you. Then bringing that right hand back down to the mat, the left hand to the outside of the left foot. Left knee back to meet right knee. Right foot steps back, left foot steps back to meet. Lift up with the hips and squeeze the heels back. Long, slow vinyasa, coming forward to plank on the inhale. And drop the knees, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Lift chest, 2, 3, 4, and lower, 2, 3, 4. Chest back, 2, 3, 4. Lift hips, 2, 3, and 4. End of round 4. Coming back forward to a plank position and drop the knees, drop the chest. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. Bring the feet together at the bottom. Push the hips into the mat. Lift the chin, lift the chest. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the hands, squeeze the bum and lift those feet. Really concentrating on strengthening those back chain of muscles. Release the feet, release the chest, release the hands by the side of the chest. The toes tuck and bring that chest back towards the thighs, tucking the toes under. Forehead to the mat, stretching arms, armpits, waist, lower back, bases of feet. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up with the hips and squeeze those heels back. Let's take a moment in down dog, squeezing the heels down, pushing the chest back to thighs, try not to flare those ribs. Let's take a nice long slow vinyasa before we start with that round 5. Coming forward to plank, 2, 3, 4 and lower, 2, 3, 4. Lift chest, 2, 3, 4 and lower, 2, 3, 4. Toes tuck, chest back, 2, 3, 4. Lift hips, squeeze heels back, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, let's start with the round 5. Come back forward to a plank, drop the knees, bring your right foot forward in between the hands, right arm up and over, turn and twist to your right, both arms level shoulder height. Bring your right arm down, forward to meet left, left hand up and over and turn the palms down. Gaze to the right fingertips, bring the left arm down and around to meet right, palms together, hands to chest. Lean forward, left elbow, right knee, hook, breathe in, elongate, breathe out, and rotate. Then bringing your right hand down to the inside of the right leg. Reach your left hand up and turn and twist to that left side root. Then bring your left hand back down to the mat. Turn your left toes off and send your right foot back, rolling onto the left side body, reaching the right hand up. Turn the right hand towards me, reach it up and over the head. Try and neutralise through the pelvis by bringing that little flare of ribs back into neutral. Just another breath here, stretching that right side waist. And then bring your right hand back down to the mat. Bring your right knee back onto the mat. Step your left foot back, your right foot back. Lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Nice long, slow vinyasa. Come forward on your inhale. 2, 3, 4, and exhale down. 2, 3, and 4. Inhale up. 2, 3, 4. Exhale down. 2, 3, 4. Exhale back. Sorry, inhale back. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, up. 2, 3, and 4. Come back forward to a plank position and drop down with the knees. Bring your left foot forward in between the hands. Push firmly into the mat. Left arm windmills up and over. Turn and twist to the left. Then scooping the left arm down and around and forward to meet right. Right hand up and over to the back of the room, palms facing down, gaze to those left fingertips. Scooping your right arm down and around, bring it to meet left, palms together, bring them to the chest. Lean forward, right elbow, left knee, turn and twist. Elongate, inhale, rotate, exhale. Then bring your left hand down to the inside of the left foot. Reach your right hand up to the ceiling, gaze up towards that thumb. Turn the torso to the right for a breath. Then bring your right hand down to the mat. Turn your right toes off, step your left toes back. Stabilise through that right leg. Reach the left hand up, turn the palm forward and reach up and over the head, stretching through that left side waist. Then bringing that left hand back to the floor, left knee back to the mat. Step your right foot back to plank. Your left foot to meet right foot. Lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back, down dog. Take a breath in, down dog. Take a long, slow vinyasa. Forward, 2, 3, 4, and down. 2, 3, 4. Lift up. 2, 3, 4, back down. 2, 3, 4. Chest back. 2, 3, 4. Hips up. 2, 3, and 4. End of round 5. Come back forward to a plank. Drop the knees. Bring the chest down to the mat. Bring the hands down by the side of the body. Bring the feet together at the bottom. Push the hips into the floor. Lift up with the chin, the chest. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift up with the hands. Squeeze the shoulders together. Include the feet. Engage the bum and the hamstrings. Point through the toes. Maybe come a little higher with your back bend. And then release those feet back down. Bring the hands by the side of the chest. Let the toes tuck under. Bring the chest back towards the thighs, the forehead to the mat. Take a moment stretching down armpits, waist, shoulders, hips, back, bases of feet. Then push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up with the hips, squeeze the heels back, find down dog. Ready to take round 6. Come forward to plank. Drop the knees to the floor. Bring your right foot through in between those hands. Windmill your right hand up and over. Turn and twist the torso to the right. And then scoop the right arm down and around, forward to meet left. Left hand up and over to the back of the room. Turn the gaze to the right hand. Bring your left arm down and around, forward to meet right. Palms together, bring them to the chest. Lean forward, bring left elbow, right knee. Breathe in, elongate. Breathe out, rotate, push into the hands, elbow into knee and push back. Bring your right hand then down to the inside of the right leg. Reach your left hand up to the ceiling and turn and twist the torso to the left. Then bringing your left hand down to the mat. Stepping your right foot back, taking your left toes off, reach your right hand up to the ceiling. This time lift the right leg, squeezing the outside of the right bum cheek, and then reach the right hand up and over the head. On an out breath, bring elbow to knee and squeeze. And on an in breath, lengthen back out. 2 more, elbow to knee and squeeze. In breath, length. Last one, elbow to knee and squeeze. In breath and length. Hold the length for a breath. Then bring that right hand down, right knee down, step back with your left foot, step back with your right foot. Lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back to downward facing dog. Taking a long, slow vinyasa, coming forward, inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, lower, 2, 3, 4, inhale, lift, 2, 3, 4, exhale, lower, 2, 3, 4, inhale, back, 2, 3, 4, inhale, lift, 2, 3, and 4. Come back forward to a plank and drop down onto the knees. Bring your left foot through in between the hands. Stabilise the feet. Raise the left hand up and over and twist to your left. Then scoop the left arm down and around forward to meet right. Right hand up and over to the back of the room. Turn the palms down, gaze to the left hand. Scoop your right arm down and around. Bring the palms together, then to the chest. Lean forward, right elbow, left knee, and rotate to the left. Use the anchor of the right elbow to twist. And then bring that left hand to the inside of the left leg. Reach your right hand up and turn the chest to the right. Gaze up to that right hand if you wish. Then bring that right hand down to the mat. Send your left toes to the back and turn your right foot off. Roll onto your right side and reach the left hand up. Squeeze the outside of the left hip to lift that left leg to hip height. Then reach that left hand up and over. On an exhale, bring elbow to knee and squeeze. And on an inhale, lengthen it back out. 2 more, elbow to knee and squeeze. And lengthen it back out. Last one, elbow to knee and squeeze. And lengthen it back out and hold that long line for a breath. And then bringing your left hand down to the mat, coming back onto the left knee, stepping your right foot back, your left foot back, lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Take a nice long deep breath in and a long breath out, squeeze the heels down a little further. Breath into plank, 2, 3, 4, breath out to lower, 2, 3, 4, breath into lift, 2, 3, 4, breath out to lower, 2, 3, 4, breath in back with the chest, 2, 3, 4, breath out to lift hips, squeeze heels back, 2, 3, and 4. So that's the last of your vinyasas. Come forward to plank. Let's finish off with our back bend, drop knees, bring the chest all the way to the mat. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body, bring the feet together, push the hips firmly into the floor. Last back bend of lifting the chin, the chest, roll the shoulders back, lift the hands away from the floor, squeeze the bum to lift those legs up. Keep pushing those hips firmly into the mat so we don't impinge that lower back. One more breath here. And then release those feet back to the mat, the chest to the floor, the hands by the side of the chest. Tuck the toes, chest comes back towards the thighs, forehead to the mat, stretching through the shoulders, waist, lower back, feet. And then untuck the toes, bring the bum back to the heels, bring the arms down beside the thighs and just let those shoulders sit over those knees and curl through the back, relax the shoulders, the neck. Just take a moment in this forward fold restorative place of child's pose before we start to bring you into your standing balance. So making your way back up onto your hands and knees, then up onto your toes. Let the heels drop, knees bend, take a hold of the elbows, let go of the head and just let the arms feel traction through the weights. And then release those arms heavy, curl up through that spine, one vertebra at a time, keeping the knees bent until you arrive in standing. When you arrive in standing, roll the shoulders back and down. Still facing your short edge, I'm turning to the long edge so I can do a mirror image for you. So bringing your hands onto the hips, bringing your weight into your right foot and lifting your left knee up to hip height. Then lift it a little higher by contracting the hip flexor. Take your left hand to the ankle of that left leg. Then start to bring that left knee down to meet your right knee and roll the shoulder back and down. Push the hips forward to feel a little more stretch. Point through the toes of the left foot and squeeze that heel towards the bum. If you feel stable enough, you can always raise the right hand up, but try not to flare through the ribs. Try and keep everything engaged around the core. Try not to let that left foot be any kind of stabilizer. Make sure those toes are in front of the heels. Taking one more breath here. And then bringing that knee back through and take a hold of that knee with both hands and squeeze it as close to the chest as you can, still keeping that right knee nice and straight on your standing leg. Toes of the left foot back towards the shins. And then release that foot back to the mat. Bring the hands back to the hips. Make sure the toes are in front of the heels. So we can then take that onto that standing leg on the left side. Put your weight in there, engage the left hip. As you reach your right knee up to hip height, lift that knee a little higher and then take a hold of the ankle of the right foot with the right hand and start to draw that knee down towards your left knee. And as the knee comes low, bring the right toes to a point behind. Bring the foot into the bum, push the hips forward. If you're happy with where the legs have come to and you're happy with your balance, maybe raise that left hand up to the ceiling. Try not to flare your ribs. Keeping yourself nice and stable by switching on the outside of that left hip. So slowly transitioning your right leg back through, and as it comes through, take a hold of the knee with both hands. Squeeze that knee in towards the chest, compress that hip, but stay nice and straight through your standing left leg. And then release that right foot back to the mat. Take a little pedal of the feet. And at the front of your mat, short edge, turn the toes off, heels slightly on. Bring the hands together at the chest. Take a bend into the knees and slowly lower that bum down towards the heels, elbows to inside of the knees to take a Malasana squat. Grow nice and tall through the spine. Tuck your tailbone down and lift your lower belly up. Take a close of the eyes for a moment here. Just switch out of any sensations of sight. Go a little more internally. Notice the hips, notice the lower spine, mid-spine, upper spine. Notice the shoulders. Just being aware of how the whole of your body feels right now as we're coming to the close of practice. One more breath in this space. And then bringing the hands behind you, bring the bum into the centre of the mat, bring the feet to the front of the mat, toes back towards the shins, straighten the legs. We're going to raise up with the arms and stay nice and tall through the spine, and then fold from the hips and start to lean forward with as straight a back as you can. As you reach forward with the hands, take them to wherever they reach, and then maybe bring them to the feet, ankles or shins. Take another long deep breath in here, push the ribs forward, and as you breathe out, draw the belly back, contract and fold over those thighs. And then I invite you just to let the head hang, the spine to curl forward. Maybe release anything you're holding through the hands and let them just fall by the side of the legs, a little more passive with the fold here. And from this position, we're going to slowly roll down onto our back. So keeping the spine curled as you start to bring the torso back. Keep the chin tucked into the chest. Let the hands travel up the legs, keeping everything rounded until each vertebra comes down to the mat one at a time. And when the shoulders start to arrive, Release the chin tuck. Bring the arms down. Bring them out to a T shape, palms facing down. Take a bend into both knees. Bring the knees and ankles together. Move the hips to the right. Drop the knees to the left and gaze over to that right hand. And just let the knees settle to wherever they wish to be. Tuck your tailbone down, lift your lower belly up. Maybe squeeze those knees up a little higher towards you. And then if you've done that, maybe you want to send that right leg out long, pushing the heel away, toes back to the shins, to stretch through that upper right thigh. Try and keep the right shoulder grounded if you can. And then bending back into that right knee, bring those knees back into a centre space. Neutralise the hips back into the middle. And then take the hips to the left, drop the knees to the right, the gaze to the left hand, and just let the weight bring those knees down. Then maybe bring those knees up a little closer towards the chest, and then maybe straighten that left leg out, pushing the heel away, toes back. Feel the stretch on the outside of that left hip, maybe into the outside left thigh, maybe into that hamstring on that left leg. Then bring that left knee back into a bend. Bring the knees back into the centre. And as you arrive in the centre space, bring the hips back into the middle. Bring the knees into the chest. Take the elbows to inside of the knees. Take a hold of shins, ankles, outsides of feet, wherever you can reach. And then just allow the soles of the feet to point up, the heels to stack over the knees to draw into the armpits, and the thighs to the outside of the ribs. Maybe take a little rock of the body from side to side, just to massage that spine, thanking for its practice. Bring them back to stillness, and then bring the elbows to outside of the knees and give those knees a squeeze in towards the body. Then release those legs long to the ends of the mat, stretching the legs out long and wide, bringing the hands down by the sides of the body, palms facing up. Maybe lift the bum away from the mat, tuck your tailbone under, give the hips a little rock. Send the shoulders down into the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades together slightly to open the chest. Turn the head in both directions, making sure it comes back to a centre space when you've done that. And when you've found that centre space, close the eyes, take a long deep breath in and a long sigh out through the mouth. Relax through the whole body, particularly the muscles of the face, and take yourself for a moment to your happy place. That may be into hills, mountains, by the sea, maybe your home. Whatever makes you feel relaxed and calm. If you're happy to stay with that visualization of your happy place, maybe pause me now and stay there for a few more moments. If you wish to come back out of relaxation with me, wriggle fingers, wriggle toes, rotate wrists, rotate ankles. Then bring the knees in towards your chest. Maybe have a little rock of that body from side to side, massaging that spine, thanking it for a practice. And then just rolling onto your side, and just take a moment on your side, taking a couple of easy breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly making your way into a seat. When you find your seat, either cross-legged or on the knees, place the hands on top of the thighs, take a roll of the shoulders. Grow tall through the spine. Take a slight bow through the head. Then on an inhale, raise the hands to the ceiling, palms together at the top. And then on an exhale, bring the hands towards the chest and the gaze towards the floor. Have peace in your thoughts, your words, your hearts, from my heart to yours. Namaste.